talk about New Orleans and Carolina
Yeah.
and not the game. We need to talk about a man who has played since 2019 only 20 games. His only success has came with the passes coming from Hall of Famer Drew Brees. Has thrown a brick at somebody more recently than caught a touchdown in the National Football League. Sitting
Michael
on the
Thomas, what, broke the record in what, 19?
Yeah, he broke someone's window in like 22, 23.
It was 21 or 22,
21,
something like that.
22.
Yeah, he
But
decided to throw.
he's
He
sitting.
said himself either a rock or a bullet.
Yeah, he's sitting on his couch, tweeting like a bum, like me or you could be doing, like anybody could be doing, like any 9 to 5 or any actual bum that has nothing to do but watch a Saints game. Oh, the Saints on. Let's watch Derek Carr.
Yep.
And just shit on Derek Carr. Now here's the thing. We've talked about Derek Carr and his potential and just we've had discussion about Derek Carr on this podcast.
Of course.
Obviously, at least I don't feel I don't feel the same way Michael Thomas feels about Derek Carr.
No.
Now at the same time, my friends might feel different about me than someone that I work with.
Sure.
So that's the first thing that all right, I'll get that out of the way. Yeah, he worked with him kinda, sure, when he was there for the 3 games or whatever. But Michael Thomas is an absolute loser. I really don't. I don't know really. Just on the Michael Thomas, I'll get to actually what he was bitching about. When it comes to Derek Carr and him, the ball he threw to Olave. But just sitting on Twitter, I mean, this is like Antonio Brown level of like the way he's acting. Like these are like Antonio Brown actions. Like if we're gonna sit here and call like the things that Antonio Brown does is CTE level shit, it's like, buddy, you sat there and just caught slants and fell to the ground.
That was it.
That is all you did.
It's like you had the most receptions in NFL history, and you were about 300 yards short of breaking the record.
And I mean, you want to talk about? So let's talk about what he was complaining about. That's Derek Carr. And what makes me upset is people always blame the quarterback on balls like that, especially because they like to call them the hospital ball,
suicide balls. Whatever.
Now, here's the problem: every single quarterback in the NFL, including Derek Carr, have to throw against tight coverages.
Yeah.
Against or tough,
especially over the middle,
tight windows, tough coverages, throw balls over the middle. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Brady was throwing them bitches all the time.
Is it ideal? Is it the first option? Do quarterbacks want their number one target to be sent to the hospital? Obviously not.
No.
But I don't understand how we can sit here and put all the blame on Derek Carr and not talk about how the DB, like, why do we not talk about DBs watching balls go through receivers' hands and then them lighting them up?
Still hitting.
They will light them up. And let's be real, at this point, like, it's just, what is it for? A highlight? Your highlight tape? Like, these DBs.
We still see DBs go full on dive mode on quarterbacks who are sliding.
But I mean, they're so reckless when it comes to these types of plays because it's either you did it on purpose, just to what? I mean, don't let them know not to come across the middle again or whatever stupid shit. And the reason I'm saying it's stupid is because you're getting no blame for it. It's just because you think that's just the best idea.
Yes, they're like, this is it.
You won't get flagged for it, I guess, even though it's like that's more unnecessary roughness than a bad ball.
Or than a fucking any quarterback.
Or they're so and look, and here's the thing. At this point, I know we say this every episode. We don't play in the NFL, but we're gonna sit here and fucking talk about the simple things like keeping your eye on a football, and that's knowing whether or not it's in a receiver's hands. So you're running, receiver drops the football, I almost still run into him.
2 more steps,
I'm
boom.
not gonna let up. I'm
Like,
not gonna move out the
if we're
way.
gonna have these quarterback rules where it's like roughing the passer and shit, where you take 2 steps and you hit it, bro. Why can you take 3, 4 steps and still
Still
crack the fuck out of a
light
receiver?
somebody up, and then blame Derek Carr. It's Derek
You're trying to
Carr's
win a
fault.
football game. You're trying to throw a ball that is catchable over the middle,
Yeah.
and your boy gets locked up.
And Chris Olave, and hopefully he's good, but I mean he dropped the football. But after you drop the football, yeah, no, you should expect to not get hit, especially in 2024. At this point, if we're implementing all these rules, all these safety precautions, why not really hammer down? You know,
Like the real plays that are hurting NFL players.
yeah, yeah.
Not you put your body weight on the quarterback. You could have broken his collarbone, man.
It's
Why not
just
the fucking you're gonna break this dude's neck in half if you take 4 steps and blow him up?
it's just you at this. I mean, I'm just saying you can blame a DB or you can blame a quarterback all you want for putting his wide receiver in a bad situation, but the real question is how do you put your receiver in a good situation if you have multiple DBs playing reckless at once?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying in this situation that's what the Carolina Panthers were doing, but no, there are situations where you got. I mean, shit. Look at Baltimore, bro. I mean, jokes aside, Kyle Hamilton like looks to just take people's
Crash
heads
out.
off.
Yeah.
He is an actual crash out. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's like it's cool that he can come off the
Lay the
edge
wood.
and he can take somebody's head off, but
I'm gonna be honest. How many Super Bowls did Brian Dawkins win playing football like that? He caught some cool ass highlight tapes.
yeah, I mean that's well now. But see, here's the thing: in in that age of football, that was
Sure.
normal.
Of course.
That was regular. That was okay. You were expected to get your head taken off going across the middle. Quarterbacks, receivers, they kind of had to accept that that's what's going to happen. I'm getting my head taken off. You're getting your head taken off. We're just going to try to not do that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like no, you were doing every single thing to protect offensive players,
But
but
it's
ignoring.
also players in general. I mean, you would see those videos of Ryan Clark flying the fuck over the middle, going crazy. Like that's incredibly dangerous for DBs. If I'm not mistaken, DBs get the most concussions out of any NFL player, out of
Yeah,
any NFL position.
but Ryan Clark making statements like, "Well, I just didn't care about my body." It's like, no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no. You not caring about your body put other people in
of
risk
course.
at risk. Like it's and that's and players still do that today.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I I don't know. I'm tired of the blame being put on quarterbacks for having to force a ball into tight coverage and then
Agreed.
it's all of a sudden it's always a hospital ball. That's what it is.
Sure. And
Um,
then they just fired Dennis Allen, which again to me is do what you want, whatever, with your
mm,
team, but clearly your head coach is not the problem. You have no
yeah.
weapons on this team. You have no defense. You have nothing that can make this team a winning football team. Sure, go out and fire your head coach. You're not going to get shit from it.
Well, I mean, when you got like a Kamara and an Olave, you do have weapons. Like
No, agreed, but
there are weapons. Now, when you spend half of your offense trying to somehow utilize your Swiss Army knife, Taysom Hill, um, to me, I can't I'm telling you, the day a coach walks into the Saints locker room and goes, "Get out,"
yeah,
that's when they'll start to win.
sure.
Like I know it's a lot more than Taysom Hill, but that's just that's just an example of some goofy shit a team that just doesn't want to win does.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, let's experiment. Like it's just it just doesn't seem like some winning shit. It doesn't seem like the Saints are interested in winning at all when they pull that. It's okay. It's like Derek Carr goes out. Let's try to throw Spencer Rattler in the fire. Maybe
Yep,
let's try to progress him a little bit, but
yep,
then let's also throw him off by throwing Taysom Hill in to take
yep,
direct snaps
yep.
or have basically a waste of a receiver out there if we're putting him to line up anywhere that's
Agreed.
not at quarterback. I mean, it's just or if
There's
Taysom Hill's in the
no team
backfield
that has run a trick quarterback and been successful.
and
Or
Taysom Hill comes out,
whatever the fuck Taysom Hill is, tight end or
if
whatever the
Taysom
fuck.
Hill is lined up in the backfield 3 times in an entire game, what do you think that defense is going to do?
Yeah.
Hey, it's
Hey, white boy's back here.
it's going to the dude with one glove. He's getting
Yep.
it. He's getting it.
Find
That's
him.
what any defense is going to do when they're playing the Saints. So once that
Of course.
goofy shit ends, they'll be on to something. They just extended Kamara, so obviously they got something planned. I don't know exactly what it is.
I guess. And Kamara is a threat, but again, he's way more of a receiving threat than he is a rushing threat. They
Yeah,
don't
but
have a rushing threat.
this running back by committee thing, if you can run with a Kamara and then maybe like a ground and pounder, I mean, it can work. It can
But
work.
also losing to the Panthers is not a good look. Going 2-7 now.
Yeah.
Pretty bad, but either way, just a shit franchise.